You want to pull first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or we can start with small strokes.
Yeah. Oops.
You pull.
Oop.
What's it?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm wondering if I'm pulling funny.
You look pretty straight from here. Might just be the tree gold.
Nope.
Looking good.
Nope.
Still looking good. The curve is pretty wide. Almost time for a wedge.
Yep.
Yeah, 2 more strokes. I think that should be enough room.
Is there enough room?
Yeah, you could probably get it started.
Yeah, a little bit.
There we go.
That's good.
Yeah.
Here, let me get set.
Let me know when you're ready. You good?
Yep.
Oop.
Alright, we can hammer it a little bit more. Yeah. Okay, helpful.
Yep.
A little over halfway through on my side.
That's what it looks like on my side too.
How's it looking?
Looks pretty good. All right, I need a break.
What's up?
I just need a break.
Take a break.
Yeah, you can probably tap that in some more. You got a lot of space.
Yeah,
Put some oomph behind it.
Yeah.
Good. You put maybe.
You want to put one? Yeah. Here, I got the saw.
I'll go. If I'm gonna do symmetrical wedges, I'll try to use identical.
Gotcha.
Generally speaking.
That way it spreads evenly.
Well, yeah. Just if you have opposing wedges that aren't the same, you know, maybe it doesn't do anything. But I do find that like sometimes, like you can look at the profile.
Yeah.
I think that aluminum wedge is.
It's a lot thicker.
It's gonna be different.
Like it's thicker closer.
Yeah. A little less of a taper than those guys.
All right.
Alright,
Yeah.
once it gets down to like, I don't know, like.
You could probably take it pretty low.
Yeah, we can get probably within an inch or two.
Yeah.
And then you
once
can.
it gets there, we'll take the handle off and single butt.
All right.
You pull.
All right. Oop.
Side.
Do what?
Maybe like 4 inches on my thumb.
Yeah, that seems about right. That's what it looks like on my side too.
Nice. All right, equal.
All right. Looking pretty good over here. About 3 inches, maybe 2. So what, a couple more strokes and then let you finish it by yourself?
Yeah,
you want to pan the wedges anymore, or you think we're good?
you can do it, John. Please.
Doesn't hurt. Whoa!
I guess that's kind of what you were talking about, where it doesn't taper as much, so it kind of tossed these out quicker.
Yeah. Counting from the top is going to give you the most opening, so.
There you go. All right.
Sound good?
Yep. You ready?
Yep. How close is it?
Pretty close. I think. How's your side look? Like, I don't know, we got like maybe about
2 inches?
that much left. 1 finger, so about 2 inches ish.
We can go into like 1 inch maybe.
All right.
All right, your pull.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you should be able to do that one by yourself.
Hey, you can take the handle off for me?
Yep. There you go.
Oh, tell me if I'm hitting dirt.
You are a little bit. You want to trench out a little?
I think I just... Let me know if I'm hitting dirt.
Whack the wedge in a little bit.
Interesting.
Is it through?
I think it's through. Yeah, something gave.
Okay.
It's either through or like it.
Basically there.
Okay. I can split it.
We can grab one of our hand saws.
Or you could always whack the wedge and see if it comes apart too.
You could. I mean, it might happen. I think
Well, I guess it depends on how much is there
it's
too.
nice when that happens. I feel like a lot of the time
Dang. Good stuff.
you try to
You
do
too.
that.
It just
Yeah.
gets the
Like,
wedge
you
further.
you drive the wedge like all the way in, and then it still doesn't break. You're like, all right. Seen this and dealt with this before. In Aiden, have you ever had this demoed or had anybody go through spring pulls?
Yeah, we had it when we did chainsaw class,
Okay.
which, as I was told earlier, is a little bit different with crosscut than it is with chainsaw.
Yes, I'm assuming with chainsaw they kind of had you like shaving from the inside,
We
or
usually will make a back cut on the inside a little, and then we'll just cut from the lower portion
let's see.
lower to the ground because there's less full spring.
Yeah.
It springs like back away from you instead of towards you.
Let's see.
So we usually cut like where that critical bend kind of is right now. We would usually cut like right there because it would spring
Inside
this
or
way.
outside?
We would cut a little inside and then we go outside because it would spring just a little bit and the rest of it would like fall. It wouldn't come up after you.
Gotcha. Okay, well, crosscut or wilderness work, there's generally a very specific way that they prescribe to deal with these. And I'm not going to demo the whole thing. I'll let somebody take over for me here in a minute. But I don't know. Sounds like maybe in some ways similar to how you've been taught in the past. The big thing is you're going to want to try to identify the point of greatest
Tension.
compression.
Yeah.
Tension and compression, I guess. And the way that, does anybody have the technique that they want to share?
I mean, when I did it with the chainsaw, I put like 5 little nicks on it and then it kind of...
Well, just for identifying maybe that point of, in this bend, because we know like
It's that.
basically all through this bend, right? There's compression on the inside,
Yep.
tension on the outside.
So about 4 inches up from where your saw blade is currently, right about there, is maybe a little more, is probably right about where the most is sitting at.
How are you coming to that determination?
I don't know. I just happened to look at it, and to me, that just seems like the biggest bend section where there's most.
Taylor.
I tend to also eyeball, but I think like the methodology, at least that I've been taught and have used in the past, is to kind of draw, your visionary plane of from flat across the top and from the bottom of the tree up, and find where that point is.
Yeah.
Like this. Can you guys see my hands?
Yep.
So like put your hand on top, put your hand on the bottom, and that point where that meets directly down is where the point of most tension.
Okay.
So theoretically,
Yeah.
if
theoretically.
I go, like Taylor's saying, if I go kind of more or less straight up from the trunk of the tree, from the ground, and I go straight across from the top of the arc, that's going to give me a 90-degree angle out here. If I cut that in half and go at like a 45, that should be,
Yep.
I don't know, am I close?
Yeah.
There, I have a kind of a weird perspective from where I'm sitting. Should be about where that point of greatest energy is. So it doesn't have to be exact necessarily, but I'm getting, you know, somewhere in the neighborhood of right there, you know, maybe give or take a ½ inch, an inch, something like that. So once you've identified that point, or roughly that point, you want to cut into the compression side to relieve that energy. If you cut into the tension side, that's where you can get that explosive reaction. There's a certain, you know, like if something's like an inch in diameter or something like that, inch and a half, most of the time, like a tree that size, I
Hold
wish
it.
I could just grab it and hold it and cut through it. I think where you need to start being careful is stuff more like this side. You know, Rebecca.
More like
might
the
wanna
size of your
see
wrist.
Yeah, it's not always easy to find something like this just laying around in the woods. So just for demonstration purposes, on Thursday, Rebecca or Natalia might want to see you demonstrate on a smaller tree. For the purposes of the evaluation, you should still use the proper technique, even if, practically speaking, if I'm out on the trail, you know, I come across something small enough, it's just a, you know, grab it, cut it kind of situation. We'll see how this reacts, but theoretically, what I want to do is just, like John was saying, make a series of small cuts on the compression side. Creating that space, removing that wood is going to allow the tree to compress in a way that releases energy in a very controlled and slow way. So what that can look like is just maybe this kind of deal right here. I'm just going 2 pulls about a 1/4 inch apart. And I'm just going from, starting from my middle cut, one on the bottom, one on the top, and I can start to see those visually closing a little bit. I can also feel it on the saw pinching, so that does tell me that there is a little bit of energy left in here, at least. And it's a bit of a slow process, but you're essentially just going to continue this for as long as it takes to feel like the energy is gone out of the tree. If it'll let you, going back in the middle, maybe cutting a little more. It looks like it'll let me do here. But like a lot of things in wilderness, it's not the most time-friendly technique, but it does generally get things done in a lot safer way. And like Aiden was saying, with the example of the guy in the Smokies, I think like it's really easy to underestimate situations like these. You know, especially if you are conscious of it. 99 out of 100 times, it's not nothing bad is gonna happen. We might even get through this, and since it's been kind of cracked, I can see a little bit of cracking on the outside here. I can see, you know, just that it's been here a while. This might not give us that crazy of a, you know,
spring,
a release, even if we were just to cut it from the bottom. But all it takes is that one time where you underestimate it, and it pops up and, you know, smacks you in the eye, or if it's something bigger, catches you in the chest,
hits you in the leg.
and it can really mess you up. So we've got a couple saws. Do I have both of them? I do have both of them. I think if somebody wants to maybe come finish this one, and then I see 2 or 3 spring poles down there that we could take some turns on as well. And after we get those cleared up, we can jump in on the axe work and do some limit up in here, if that sounds good.
Yeah.
Somebody want to take over on this one for me?
I guess I will.
All right.
Or Colby.
I'll leave the saw. And
I got it.
Here you go.
Yep, thank you.
Oh, you wanna? Are you taking
Oh,
over
wait.
that one?
Yeah. Colby, which one you want to do?
Either way, you got that one.
Okay.
Okay. When you can observe that most of the energy, enough of the energy is out to do that.
Bless you.
Release cut.
So,
Yeah.
just to clarify, make little notches and then cut from here?
I wouldn't cut on the back.
Okay, so you just want it to make the little notches
Yes.
until it... Okay, I see. I'm following. Okay.
You'll make the notches. They should continue to kind of
Compress.
close. If they don't,
Yeah.
then if you cut enough notches and you're not seeing that those are closing, you're not seeing that it is continuing to compress on that side.
Mm-hmm.
What that tells me is that oh, there's actually not that much energy in this, and then I can cut from the tension side.
So for this, just cut from this side until it just
Yeah.
snaps
And you don't
over.
want to cut all the way through either. Like, the whole idea is you're just removing wood and allowing that compression to occur to release the pent up energy from the situation.
Okay. So don't cut on this
the
side,
objective
only
is-
cut on
is
this side.
not to cut through as fast as possible.
Okay.
The objective is to remove wood from the compressor side to release energy to get to the point where you can cut through completely and release that tree.
the bottom, it looks like. Halfway through.
I'll do on the other as well.
Curves open on our end. Take this all out.
You want the silky to finish off the top?
Yeah. Cool. Here? Okay, your side. You take yours off, yeah.
Alright.
Got it.
So this is an example of where I still, even with a pretty straightforward cut, would have started with a relief cut on the top.
Okay.
Just because in that scenario, what we would have likely seen is just like when we pass those cuts is generally like just a pretty nice
It would just fall away.
quick break.
And now it's...
We've
like
got this, it's
okay.
not going to be a big deal, but it's kind of just a little bit more of an awkward situation.
Yeah.
Just a layer of bark at least.
You're on the good side.
Oh, okay, you got it.
The good side. You're missing this cut on my side.
Gotcha. Is that in line with your side?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna hit it.
There we go.
Nice.
Sweet. Then we might be able to move that
I
one.
knew what I was doing.
What's up?
I was doing a relief cut. I knew what I was
Oh,
doing.
hey.
I didn't miss it.
So you can see what I was talking about earlier. Now, if we have to make a second cut or had to make a second cut,
The bottom bone.
it's just a nice bottom bind. Although
Okay.
it's actually like kind of a pivoty situation here. Actually, oh, is it on the rock or is it on this branch?
I think it's on that branch.
It is on the branch. Interesting. Oh. Well, should we see if we can move it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't
Might
think
as
I'm
well.
going to be able to do this one on my own.
What? Why not?
Guess I'm just weak. Guess I'm just a weak little guy. Oh, what's this?
Don't say that. That's not true. No matter what they tell you.
Should we cut that branch off maybe? If it's like supporting it, it might.
I think we could probably.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's.
I think the branch. Yeah, I don't think it's connected. I think it's just sitting on top.
I think
Therefore I am.
if we could probably just like 3 people on this end and just kind of swinging it that way, I think is what we need.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Well, there's
Me,
3 people
Taylor,
right
and
there.
Who's the third?
I mean, John's over there.
All right, John, you want the very end?
Yeah.
Here we go. And beautiful.